David Shapiro, this is a strange stock market we have at the moment. Looked like it was under pressure. For all money, you'd say it was going to end significantly lower today, and then just towards the close, a lot of buying orders coming in.
And I don't know where they came from, because even as bullish as I am, I was hoping that we'd probably end down 0.5%. China was under pressure. Commented.
I mean, 0.5% would have been a good.
I would have been very
yet,
happy with
it.
And
Finished
yet we
slightly
finished
better.
better. And it was driven by shares like Anglo's, BHP Billiton, Kumba, Sasfin. Commodity stocks pushed up, SAB Miller, Naspers. So there were a handful of shares. I think on account, there was still 3 down for every 2 up. So I think the bear still won on the count. But I mean, from the index point of view, it did manage to hold flat. And I'm still struggling to understand why. I know metal prices turned around, but I couldn't pick up news that we got. Most of the news we got today was very, very negative.
So why would the volatility index go up? Why would you see this sharp ending towards the close? Is it that foreigners were coming in?
Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't know. There was buying. It was very selective.
And if David doesn't know, then nobody knows. But what do you think of Warren Buffett today in the New York Times? What an interesting op-ed that he wrote there.
Yeah.
It's well worth going onto the internet, go to the New York Times website and see what he had to say. He's talking about greenback emissions and warning that the Americans don't stop spending money at the rate they're doing it at the moment. There's going to be hell to pay into the future.
He's not directing it at Bernanke or the Fed. He's directing it at Congress. He's telling Congress to pull it in.
At government.
At government, and warning them down the line. I don't think he expects any action, but I think just warning down the line that they're going to have to address it.
He makes a couple of good statements. He says that America's budget deficit, now for those who don't know these technical terms, countries try not to spend more in government expenditure than the tax that they get in. And the difference between what they spend and what they get in is called a budget deficit. We in South Africa had a surplus last year. We're going to have a deficit this year of about 3.5%. In the United States, the biggest deficit that they had outside of wartime, according to Buffett, was back in 1920. Well, the biggest deficit they had was 6%. This year they're looking at 13% of GDP. And he says the way the politicians are spending, if they continue at this rate, then the future generations all they're going to be doing is working to repay all the debt.
Yeah, it will be. And it is future generations. But I don't think they had a choice.
He said that. He said that. But the problem is that they don't know how to switch off the taps. So you didn't have a choice to get the country or the global economy out of the trouble they were going into. But they show no sign whatsoever of abandoning the spendthrift ways and repaying any of that debt.
Well, I think they're baffled at the moment. I think they're waiting for signs that the economy is going to turn around. The consumer's still under pressure. So I don't think anybody has the solution. And I think that if you watch stock markets like we do, 24 hours a day, you can pick up, there are as many comments as there are minutes in the hour. So it's very, very difficult for anybody to make decisions. You literally, and as I say, even now, you have to take it day by day, watching these markets.
Lovely quote from Mr. Buffett. He says, unchecked greenback emissions will certainly cause the purchasing power of our currency, that's the US dollar, to melt.
He's great. He's great when he's great.
If you think the South African rand is strong at the moment, just stand by. It could get stronger still. That's one of the reasons why the gold miners are complaining. The Simmers results, they go through, and many times, we're going to talk to Dion van der Merch later, complaining that the South African rand is too strong.
Well, it is. And in fact, with the gold price now at $930, $940 an ounce, it's lower than it was a few months ago in rands. So they're not making money. The same with the platinum miners. So it is a problem for our exporters. And the last thing we want is for the dollar to go stronger and to make us, the dollar to go weaker and for us to go stronger, because it would really put us under a lot of pressure.
Well, the rand price of gold was at 10,000 rand. You remember that briefly, the Kruger rand was worth 10,000 rand in the early part of this year. It's now sitting at 7,500 rand. So if you're a gold producer, that's a big drop.
Massive drop. And your costs haven't really come back that much. You don't really get the benefits.
Costs haven't come back. Costs have gone up.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So they don't get the benefit of a strong rand.
Yeah.
You're paying your costs in rand.
Take the labour costs up 10%, electricity costs up 31%. Wow.
You saw
we
that
still go
earlier.
back to what we said yesterday about gold mines, David. They seem
No,
the share prices seem to
I
be
agree
terribly
with you.
overvalued.
I agree
at the
with you.
moment.
You know, you saw Harmony's results. You saw Harmony, the cost of production there, you know, also shoot up. So
Simmons' results today don't exactly inspire one with confidence either.